I remember being a patient with my cousins being doctors. We were given this understanding that for you to be successful, you have to be a doctor. Doctors are amazing, the most reputed kind of a profession in this world. And every time we talked about biology, we thought about being doctors. But in between, there were so many things that we left behind without even considering them. I'm a 90s kid, and when I was growing up, if you really want to be successful, you got to be a doctor or an engineer, and everything started with science. Moving on, it was divided in biology and physics department. Now, most went for biology because who would not want a doctor in their house? Everybody. But people started ignoring there is so much more than just doctors when it comes to biology. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the most underrated programs in this entire world if you take doctors out of it. Biology. If you hear someone saying, I'm studying biology, your imagination is this guy is going to be a doctor, or this woman wants to be a doctor. But then beyond that, there are so many things. You can be a biomedical engineer, you can go for biotechnology, you can go for biochemistry, you can go for food science, you can go for nutrition, you can go for dietetics, you can move towards nursing, you can go towards physiotherapy, exercise science, kinesiology, and the list goes on. But barely do we hear about these things because we have been told doctors is the epitome of biology. Even when you are considering human body, you're considering something more than just what doctors can do. Physiotherapy, where exercises and muscle reflex could actually save lives, save a lot of money, save a surgery. But people don't really talk about it. When we talk about people gaining fat, people getting sick, what bothers them is what medicine do I take? But what people don't think of is how can I reduce that naturally? That's when dietitian, nutritionists come into play. We talk about people not feeling well, but then we don't talk about why. Because if you dig deeper and try looking into it, you'll understand that it's not just your physical body, it's your mental health that's bothering you. That's when psychology comes into play. When we talk about work-life balance, we don't talk about psychology, but we should, because we can talk about organizational psychology and how that could impact mental health inside and outside of an organization. We talk about taboos, but then we think talking about mental health is shameful. That's why counseling psychology has such an important role to play. I'm not just talking about taking medications for depression. I'm talking about just sitting somewhere and listening to people to heal them. Biology has that power through psychology. We can talk about neuroscience in different forms. We can talk about different other programs like blending biology with engineering. It could be biological engineering, it could be biomedical engineering, it could be environmental engineering. Yet, we don't really think about it. Imagine a situation when you have 3 grains of rice left in your home and you are sharing that with your entire family. Doesn't sound right, but that could be the reality in years to come. That's why agriculture becomes so important. We used to talk about farming in acres of land, then we started talking about backyard farming, then we started talking about rooftop farming, and who knows, tomorrow we might be talking about living room farming because the lands are scarce, it's not going to grow anyway. But food is needed. That's why agriculture becomes so powerful. Biotechnology has a major role in that because through biotechnology, through gene modification, we are talking about growing apples and oranges in the same tree. It might sound ridiculous, but that is the reality of today's biotechnological sector of agriculture. We are talking about digital farming today, but how much are we really talking about it? If we are not, I think we should be talking about it. Lot more than what we talk about doctors and engineers, because biology is not just about understanding human body and fixing it. It's about understanding nature as a whole. We should be talking more about environmental biology. We should be talking more about biochemistry, because the biological products of this nature who are polluting this environment through the chemical misuses. Why don't we talk about it? If we are not talking about it, we should start talking about it. And if you think biology is just about hanging that stethoscope on your neck, then wake up. Biology is way more than that. We are talking about the ecosystem, but we are not talking about conservational biology. We are not talking about wildlife biology. We are not talking about ecology. There are so many things we can talk about. Trust me, you can make more than 1,000 careers out of biology. If there is any particular program that you want to be knowing more about, then comment that program below and I'll be making a detailed video on that. For more information, like, share, and subscribe, because only then I'll come back to your screen again, and maybe when I come back next time, something big could happen in your life.